Namaste to everyone. Section 13, verse 25 onwards. Okay. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Going deeper into the question, which came first, chicken or egg, bhakta or jnani? This is what the thing is. So, does one become a bhakta and then become a jnani? Or does one become a jnani and then discover bhakti and become a bhakta? And if the two are the same, why are some people known predominantly as bhaktas like Narada and certain others like Vasishtha and so many others, Janaka, etc., are known as jnanis? How come? What is the difference? All this we will see. Last time we closed on a very nice, poignant wordplay. Dasoham, from Dasoham to Soham, the journey of knowledge. So Dasoham means I am your servant. Dasaha, servant. Soham, Saha eva aham, I am he, I am that, or Saham, I am she, I am that which is the truth of the universe, the cause of the universe. So this is the growth. Okay, and very nicely he had put it. So going further, दृष्टमेकान्तभक्तेषु नारदप्रमुखेषु तत् किञ्चिद् विशेषं वक्ष्यामि त्वमेकाग्रमनाशृणु. Very, it's an introductory verse. So very basic and extremely easy to understand. Is the sound okay? Let me just make sure. Oh, no. Now it will be better. Yeah. Okay. So, drishtam. Drishtam means has been seen. Okay. Past passive participle. Drishtam. What has been seen? Ekanta bhakteshu. In those people who qualify as ekanta bhaktas. Ekanta bhaktas means, you have to see how to resolve this compound. Ekanta means alone, not bhaktas who remain alone. Here the meaning is in predominantly bhaktas, in mostly bhaktas, in only bhaktas, like who Narada pramukheshu tat. So among the bhaktas, ekanta bhakteshu, seventh case, Vishaya Saptami, among all the bhaktas, and no, not Vishaya Saptami, the comparative, the comparative Saptami, among all the bhaktas, Narada Pramukheshu Tat, among all the bhaktas, led by Narada, then what happens? Kinchid Vishesham Vakshyami. So, I'm going to talk something about these bhaktas, those who call themselves bhaktas, quote unquote, or those who call themselves jnanis, quote unquote. He's just dismantling the epithets. And so now he's saying that let's look at this whole epithet, the label of bhakta that people just emblazon upon their foreheads, their shoulders, whatever, on their chests, and then proudly declare themselves as the best bhakta in the whole universe. So among them, led by Narada, because Narada has, has written, what is this called? Bhakti Sutras, They are not sutras really, because, they violate the very first definition of the word sutra, which is alpaksharam. Alpaksharam means it should be of few words, like Vriddhirajaij Sukta. Few words. So the first the first definition of sutra is alpaksharam. You can't have a whole paragraph and then call it a sutra. It's not an aphorism. Sutra means aphorism. So they have to be pithy and they have to be small. And here, so Narada Bhakti Sutras, they're not sutras, but they are written by Narada and they are full of bhakti. That much we know. So Narada Bhakti Sutras are, qualify him as a bhakta. And then, so drishtam ekanta bhakteshu Narada pramukheshu tat. Yeah, so among all the bhaktas led by Narada, what is there? There is something, Vishaya Saptami only, not comparative. I thought it was comparative, but it's Vishaya, it's a topic. So, among all the bhaktas led by Narada, Kinchid Vishesham Vakshyami. I'm going to say something specific. I'm going to say something. Vishesham means something that's not evident immediately. I'm going to talk about that. Tvam, you. Who is you here? The student here. The teacher is talking. The student is told, Ekagramanaha Shrinu. Ekagramanaha Tvam Shrinu. Ekagramanaha is qualifying Tvam, meaning you of focused mind. Ekagrata, ekagra, ekam agre yasya ekagraha. So the one, the one who has that singleness in the right in front. So that singleness is right in front. So the one who has ekagra manaha. So the mind is singularly focused on these kinds of very deep questions, bhakti or jnanam, or what makes a bhakta a jnani and what makes a jnani a bhakta, etc. These are all very, ancient and deep questions. And so the teacher is praising the student that you of single mind, please listen. Shrinu, not just please. Actually, it's an imperative, usage. So definitely, please listen. You must listen to this. And what is this? Kinchit Vishesham Vakshyami. Vakshyami, future. I will tell. What will I tell? Kinchit, something. What will I tell? What something will I tell? Vishesham, a specific thing I'm going to reveal. You of a focused mind, listen. And this is very nice of the teacher to call the student of focused mind. Because, and it's also a trick, because even if the student is of focused mind, then the student feels happy and listens well, already was listening well, continues to listen well. And if the student was not of focused mind and is being called of focused mind, then the student has further, is invited to fill in the shoes of this, adjective with which he or she is being addressed. So if one is not of focused mind, one quickly becomes of focused mind, because that's what the teacher thinks I am. And so I better, listen properly. So it's a very nice, thing. He alerts the student here, Narahari, or the teacher in this, alerts the students and says nothing much to talk about this, because it's just an introductory verse to what follows. Next one, however, is fun because it has a lot of wordplay and alliteration. Yadishvararasi bhaktah tadishvararasi buddhah ubhau yadyapyekarasau tathapi shadvilakshanau. Yadishvararasi bhaktah tadishvararasi buddhah ubhau yadyapyekarasau tathapi shadvilakshanau. So, yat, the one, yat means although, even though, Ishvara Rasi, Rasaha means enjoyment, essence. Yeah, the essence, and also it has the sense of taking enjoyment, So, like Raso Vaisaha, Rasagyevayam labdhva nandi bhavati. So the word rasa has Upanishadic origins, where Taittiriya Upanishad. And the Atma is described as Raso Vaisaha. that Atma, the self, is full of rasa, juicy self. Juicy means something in which one can endlessly revel, out of which one doesn't run out of, and that which is, that which is whose essence is nothing but happiness. Raso vaisaha, you know, and then what? And you know, so that raso vaisaha, vai means indeed the Atma is delightful. So the word rasa means delightful. But why? Because of this Upanishadic, background. So rasa actually means essence, but an essence in which one can, without which there is no existence at all. So it's that which, because of which the whole Jagat is what it is, because of which Ishvara is Ishvara, because of which Jiva is Jiva, because of which, because of whose presence even this knowledge that Jiva is indeed Ishvara is even possible. So this Atma is nothing but the source of, the only source, the single source of all delight. Raso vaisaha. Rasam he eva ayam labdva. Gaining the knowledge of this Atma. I mean, this Atma means not something else, you. Gaining the knowledge of the self. What happens? Gaining, becoming, enlightened about the nature of oneself as one is everything. Sarvatma bhavena, in the form of Sarvatma. What happens then? Being one with everything, knowing that one is not separate from anything else, what happens? Eva ayam labdhva nandi bhavati. Nand, to delight. So Nandi becomes a person who is what? Who is always in delight. Yeah, Nandah asya asti iti Nandi. So there are certain what is that? There are certain suffixes which means the possessor of. Tad asya asti iti matup. There is a suffix mat, and that mat becomes man for masculine and mati for feminine, the possessor of. Like for example, Shriman. Shriman means the possessor of Shri, and it's a nice way to it's a nice way to say Mr. in Sanskrit and Hindi and other vernacular Indian languages. Then there is Shrimati, that mat, and that man is all from this Sanskrit suffix called matup. And then if it is a Shri is a ikaranta, so that's why this mat gets attached easily. But if it is a aka, a ending word, noun, then we have to replace it with ini, ataha inithanau, that is a sutra. So ini, it becomes like Nandin, Nandi. In the first case it becomes Nandi, so like this, there are certain words. Tad asya asti iti, meaning the person is in the possession of that which is described in the noun which precedes the suffix. Yeah. So supposing if I am, in the possession of money, dhanam asya asti iti, and you can say dhanavan one way, or you can say dhani. Both are possible here, and so dhanavan you can say, or dhani, and so here, Nandi, Ananda, same thing. Nanda, Ananda, same. So the one who is the possessor of Ananda, Anandi, Dhani, and Nandi. So rasam hi eva ayam labdhva. Gaining this rasa, one becomes Nandi, one becomes a source of delight, delightful, and one is always in delight. So here we have that same E, in, and where is that in coming? Ishvara Rasin. That is the Pratipadika, that is how that is the word, and when it declines in the nominal it becomes Ishvara Rasi. So the verse is full of alliteration. Yadishvara Rasi Bhaktah Tadishvara Rasi Buddhah. So Ishvara Rasi Bhaktah. So Ishvara Rasi means the one who delights in Ishvara. Rasi, the one who delights. The possessor of delight is called Rasi. And the topic for which the possession of delight is happening is in front of this, the word called Rasi. What is that? Ishvara Rasi. You know? And because Ishvara is the topic of delight, and so the one who is the possessor of delight, Rasi, so the one who delights in what? Ishvara. You know, Ishvarasya Rasi, Ishvara Rasi. So the one who delights in Bhagavan is called what? Bhakta. Naturally. What else is the definition of Bhakta? So the Bhakta is the one who delights in Bhagavan, in Ishvara. And then what? Now we have the Bhakta here, and the other one is called Buddhaha. Buddhaha means the knowledgeable one. Yadishvara Rasi Bhaktaha. Just as the Bhakta is a delighter of Ishvara, delights in Bhagavan. Tad Ishvara Rasi Buddhaha api. So what about our Buddha, our knowledgeable, one, our Jnani? So the Bhakta's definition is very easy. What is the Bhakta's definition? The one who delights in Bhagavan, the object of bhakti. Now what is the definition of the Jnani? Tadishvara Rasi Buddha. So the definition of the Jnani is also one and the same. Ishvara Rasi. So now I'm confused. What is this? So I thought Jnani means, Jnani, again that in Jnanin, the one who is in Jnanam, the one who is the possessor of knowledge. So Jnani should be the possessor of knowledge, and then Rasin should be the possessor of delight of Ishvara. But here, somehow both of them are the same. What are they? Both of them are Ishvara Rasi. Because the Jnani has knowledge of Ishvara, and that knowledge of Ishvara is nothing but the delight of the self, of Ishvara, of the Jagat. And so the Jnani is in delight, the Bhakta is in delight, and both are delightful because they are in delight. And then what? So in other words, both are one and the same. So the definition of the Buddha and the definition of the Bhakta are one and the same. Both are what is called Ishvara Rasi. Ishvara Rasika, Rasikau. Both of them are called Ishvara Rasi. And so now Ubhau Yadyapi Ekarasau. Ekarasau means the delight in the same thing. Delighting in that one thing alone. Which is that one thing? That was described in the previous line as Ishvara. So both of them delight in Ishvara. Yadyapi, although both of them delight in Ishvara, tathapi, nonetheless, what happens? Ishad means little bit. Ishad, indeclinable word. Ishad, long E. Ishat means very slight. So slight vilakshana. There are slight differences exist between the two of them. Now we are parsing hairs, splitting hairs. But in Vedanta people like to do that. So it's all about a certain kind of a sophistication in analysis that one must not be allergic to and think that this is useless, because this exercise helps to settle the knowledge deep inside, and then rid it of vagueness, error, and all kinds of samshayas, doubts. Because it's very easy to dismiss this, because after all, how long we have spent on this section, And then we had to take a little tour of the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter. Then we came back, and then it's still going on, and then it's one more page, and then no, not just one more page, then it's two more pages, and then what else? Three more pages. Oh, good grief! And then what else? Four more pages. Five more pages. Five more pages of this. And how many pages we have already done? One, two, three, 4 and 5. So 10 page, all just whether this bhakti or jnanam, and which is, whether the bhakta is a jnani or a jnani is a bhakta, and one can just start, switching off. This is the time, because we are right in the middle, fifth page of the 10-page analysis on this. So analysis means mimamsa. And Mimamsa about the nature of the self is all about me. That's why it's called Mimamsa. Yeah. And so this analysis is not without its benefits. Because you see, the one is always in a spin. It puts a spin on this. And this is an age-old distinction. And the distinction has been, like there's a wall between the Jnani and the Bhakta in common parlance. Oh, Bhakti Yoga, this person is a Bhakta, and then the other person is too intellectual, jnani, and never the twain shall meet. And this has been a very, sadly, badly, and well entrenched distinction in the, in the Hindu. It has a mainstay, it has an abiding presence in the Hindu philosophy. And unfortunately, this distinction is based on an erroneous understanding. And that's why we need this analysis to rid the mind of this, of this watertight distinction between bhakta and jnani. Because the bhakta, supposedly, I don't know how all these things come from. The bhakta is supposedly allergic to jnana. Who said? How is that? How is that even pertinent here? If the bhakta has allergy to jnanam, can't sit in Vedanta class because always wants to be in that oneness, and this is all just a spiritual romanticism. And likewise, on the other side, there are certain wrong understandings about the jnani. And what is the wrong understanding about the jnani? The jnani just wants to, learn and pore over the books, and will not go to temple because it's beneath him, it's beneath her. Because if everything is Ishvara, if I am Ishvara, why should I go to temple? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? Why should I pray? But Bhagavad Gita says jnani is a bhakta. Yeah. And then, because there are 4 kinds of bhaktas, and jnani is the final, culmination of bhakti. That is what Bhagavan Krishna says. The jnani is the most, is the most closest to me, because that jnani is Atma eva, is myself alone. Jnani tu Atmaiva me matam. That is, that is what the whole thing is. And so, therefore, what? So the section here is very pertinent, because it puts to it's striving to put to rest this age-old battle between jnani and bhakta, which is better, which is my, which is my road, and which is whatever is, this is not about a road. In fact, it's about eroding all those notions. This is not about some road to catch. What is the destination here? You. That you, which is the whole, which is one with everything, which is not alienated, which is always in delight, gaining which there is no problem whatsoever. That is what it is. That is what the whole thing is. And so therefore what? So, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you call yourself bhakta or jnani, because the jnani knows about Ishvara and delights in Ishvara. The bhakta delights in Ishvara and knows about Ishvara. Same thing. And so, really speaking, that these two erroneous distinctions are being examined here. First, what he did was, in the first 5 pages that we have studied so far, he has dismantled that there is any difference between them. Now he is going back and saying that there may be a slight difference. Let me revel in that. So you see, one is always in a flux. So first we were told there is no difference at all. Bhakta is jnani, jnani is bhakta, and they are all the same. Okay, they're all the same. There's no distinction at all. Now the distinction is being, now that is the watertight erroneous distinction has been dismantled, a very beautiful distinction, a slight distinction is going to be reintroduced, and he's doing it in this way. So both are Ishvara Rasis, Ishvara Rasinaha, Rasinau, and so they are both Ish Ubhau, Ekarasau, both of them delight in Ishvara, Tathapi, and nonetheless, what happens? Ishad Vilakshanau, they are slightly different from one another, and let us see what that difference is. He's not telling for quite some time, he's just building up the suspense. Excuse me. Buddha bodharasan nyat anyah, Buddha bodharasanyah rasani rasatangataha tathadhika prema rasat tathadhika prema rasat natu bhakta kadachanah. So kadachana, yeah. Natu bhakta kadachana Buddha bodharasanyah rasani rasatangataha tathadhika prema rasat natu bhakta kadachana. So even though he's playing with us, because even though he said they're slightly different, and please Shrinu, please listen to this, and there is a slight difference between Bhakta and Jnani, and how they call themselves like that. And then what does he do? He flips and he talks about one more non-difference. One more non-difference he talks about. Buddhaha, the so-called knowledgeable ones, what do they do? Rasad anya. Bodharasat anya. Typical fifth case construction. Bodharasat anya. So anya means separate. Separate from what? Bodharasa. So the delight of knowledge. Bodhasya rasa, bodharasat. So tasmat anyah, from that, separate from that. So the buddhaha, the knowledgeable ones, bodharasat anyah nirasatangataha. Again a lot of alliteration on the word rasa. Buddha bodharasanyah, Buddha bodharasadanya rasani rasatangataha. It's not supposed to be broken here, Yeah, so Buddhaha, the knowledgeable ones, Bodharasat Anyat. So other than Bodharasa, the delight of knowledge, which is the delight of Ishvara, which was already talked about. So other than the delight of knowledge, Rasani, Bodharasat Anyat, Anya Rasa Nirasatam Gataha. Anya Rasa means other sources of delight, other objects of delight. So what happens to the Buddhaha? Bodharasat anyat. So other than the delight of knowledge, other objects of, with regard to other objects of delight, anya rasa, other objects of delight, what happens? Nirasatam gataha. Gataha means have resorted to, gone into what? Nirasatam. Nirasatam means distaste, yeah, apathy and distaste. So the knowledgeable ones, bodharasat anyah, bodharasat anyarasat nirasatam gataha. So with regard to other objects of delight than just the delight gained out of knowledge, what has happened to them? Nirasatam gataha. Nirasatam gataha means they have gained, apathetic. They have become apathetic, totally apathetic. Nirasatam. So nis and rasa, nis rasa, and then what happens to that sa becomes nir, you know, rasa, and you can't have nir rasa because it's impossible to pronounce. And so whenever that nis upasarga comes, the prefix nis comes before a rakara word, then that rakara has only should be one, not two, and the nis becomes ni, rajanam, nirrajanam, nisrajanam, nirrajanam, nirajanam. Nirajanam means arati. And then what else? This one here, nirasa, nisrasa, nirrasa. You can't say, so therefore, nirasatam gataha. So they have gone into apathy with regard to other objects of delight because they are so filled with the delight of knowledge, which is the delight of the self, which is the delight of Bhagavan, which is that limitlessness, which is that swabhavajam, which is swabhavajam anandam. So that ananda, which is one's own nature, one is in touch with. So all other objects of delight pale in front of it. And we could see this in Pujya Swamiji very, very nicely. And what could you see? Could see that, people would come to entertain him with all kinds of things. Sometimes people would come with gadgets, you have to wind up this and do this, and something would happen. Or sometimes people would come with books, and sometimes so many things. And so just to please them. And he would play with it for 5 minutes, and then Nirasatam gataha. He was not interested in it anymore. And when somebody told me, oh, it's so difficult to entertain Swamiji because he knows everything and he knows, whatever is there, and he's, it seems that he's bored of things in 2 minutes. I said to the person, he's not bored. It's just that these things pale in the front of that happiness he enjoys. That ananda that he enjoys is, pales in front of all these objects. What can these objects? He's not dependent on these objects at all to entertain him. It's not that he's difficult to entertain. He doesn't need to be entertained. This is what happens, because that's what happens. You don't know how to relate to a jnani because there is nothing. What else is there to talk about? There's nothing to talk about. There's no topic really, because the jnani knows, and then the jnani is one with everything. And you can't talk politics. You say, oh, the elections, and oh, this is so terrible, and look at the world, look at what is happening. The jnani is at peace with everything, so nothing matters really. So you can't talk, problems. You can talk about your problems, but you can't tell the jnani, how come I only talk about my problems? You are not talking about your problems. You are not talking about your problems. You only want me to talk about my problems. Because in a relationship, what is there? You talk about your problems, I talk about my problems, and then there is some equality here. But here there is no equality. Why? Nirasatangataha. The Buddha, the Jnani, is apathetic towards all other concerns and all other, obsessions and all other preoccupations and all other sources of both delight, etc. So nirasatam here means disenchantment. So the Jnani is disenchanted. And then what? Ubhau yadyapi ekarasau. Now comes the little twist. Ubhau. Sorry, that was the last line. So tathapi tathadhika prema rasat natu bhaktaha kadachana. So now in the same way, so tatha means that in the same manner, yatha buddhaha bodharasanyarasa nirasatam gataha, tatha in the same manner, adhika prema rasat, prema rasa means the delight of love for Ishvara. Ishvara Rasi we had already seen. So, Adhika Prema Rasat Natu Bhaktaha Kadachana. So, even the Bhaktas who are delighting in love of Ishvara are also not interested in anything else. So you tell the bhakta, come let's go to see a movie, not interested. You tell the bhakta, let's go do something else, not interested because they are delighting in Ishvara as what? As the truth of their own self. So because if you know Ishvara and you delight in Ishvara, you are really delighting in yourself. And so therefore they are also not interested. So what's the difference between bhakta and jnani? So far nothing. Really, we haven't accomplished much even 3 verses later, because even though in the middle verse he has, he gave that little, what is that? Little appetizer, a little suspense. And what is the suspense? Ubhau yadyapi ekarasau. Even though the two of them are what? Are, are delighters of Ishvara, there is a slight difference. Please, Shrinu, listen, I will tell. And then what does he tell? He tells one more verse of non-difference. So the suspense continues. So tatha adhika prema rasat natu bhaktaha kadachana. So bhaktaha natu means what? Natu means not indeed what? Delight in anything else other than prema rasa, other than the delight of love. And so that's all it is. So whether you call it love or knowledge, in other words, it's one and the same thing. And so the both of them are refuse to be enchanted by objects in the world. And then you have Parama Bhakta Maruti, Lord Hanumanji. Hanumanji, went to Ayodhya, and after Sita was rescued, he and along with some other vanaras went to Ayodhya. And in Ayodhya, they had a coronation ceremony, a long awaited coronation ceremony for Lord Rama and goddess Sita. And they had a coronation ceremony, everything went well, and Sita was so filled with happiness for Hanuman, very very happy with him. And what is that, wanted to gift him something, because he was instrumental in finding her and rescuing her, and bringing her back to Lord Rama. And because of Hanumanji, Lanka was burnt. Because of Hanumanji, who acted like a spy and got all the information, and because of his role in the war was, Ravana was able to be vanquished and the war was won. And so therefore she was so filled with love and gratitude that she took off her very costly saltwater pearls and very, dived deep into the ocean, those kinds of pearls, very difficult to get. And then she put it, that pearl necklace, which was very, very costly, she took it out and put it on the neck of Hanuman. And then what, to everyone's horror, Hanuman, instead of being happy and thankful, immediately bit into the pearl. First pearl he bit into, shocking everybody, and then pooh, pooh, he spat it out. The advantages of being a monkey. You can do all this in public and get away with it. So, so he bit into it and spat it out. And then the second pearl, he bit into that, spat it out. And then Lakshmana, who was always very protective of his sister-in-law Sita, he just whacked the monkey and he said, you are a, Markata. Look at your Markata Buddhi, your monkey Buddhi, look at this. And how dare you insult Mother Sita by, cutting through biting through each of these pearls. Forget the expense, she has given it to you with so much love, and you are desecrating, vandalizing her present right in front of her. How dare you do this? He whacked, gives one to the, Hanuman. And Hanuman says, I'm only interested in Rama. So when Mother Sita gave me this, I thought it would be full of Rama. And so I opened one pearl. How else to open other than to bite? Because I didn't know how else to open. And then looked for Rama. There was no Rama. Nirasatang gataha. Spat it out. Poo poo. And then what? Looked, maybe that one pearl did not have Rama. The other one has. I bit into that and looked. And this, in fact, if all the pearls are just sans Rama, Rama less, I am not interested in this necklace. Rama less necklace, I am not interested in. Rama less life, I am not interested in. So the Bhakta also does the same thing. And the Jnani also is not interested in anything other than that which delights them, which is really Ishvara, Bhagavan, the self, however you want to call it. Now there is a question. Atha prashnaha. So what is this question? It's not really a question. He's subverting everything. He's presenting it as an objection. Like apurva paksha. But really speaking, it's not really apurva paksha. It's a restatement of, it's an anuvada, a restatement of whatever has already gone. Let us read. Nanu jnanam vina muktihi nasti yuktishatayrapi tatha bhaktim vina jnanam nasti upayashatayrapi. Very simple again. Nanu here means, is it not so? Isn't this true? Indeed. So nanu, indeed. Jnanam vina muktihi. Very simple. So muktihi, liberation. Vina, knowledge. Vina means without knowledge. So liberation without knowledge, nasti. Nasti means what? Jnanam vina muktihi nasti. So even though it is true, even though we say that without knowledge there is no liberation, we say that, and he is seeming to echo the Viveka Chudamani, where there is a sentence, where there is a verse. Na siddhyati brahma shatantarepi. What? Muktihi without jnanam na siddhyati, is not accomplished. Brahma shatantarepi, even though there is 100 Lord Brahmajis changing, meaning even in 100 yugas, it is not possible to accomplish, what? Jnanam. It's, muktihi without jnanam. So it is not possible to gain moksha, liberation, and without what? Without knowledge. Without knowledge, it's not possible to gain liberation. And I'm trying to look for that. Verse. I'll tell you. If Janani, you know it, you can write it there. Yeah, give me a second. I'm looking through it. Yeah, it will be there in the beginning only. Did you find it, Janani? Yeah, here it is. Sixth, it's right in the beginning, sixth verse. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan kurmantu karmani bhajantu devataha atmaikya bodhena vinapi muktihi na siddhyati brahma shatantarepi. Yeah. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan. You can do whatever you want. Vadantu shastrani means you just repeat the Vedas. Repeat the Vedas and then repeat the Vedas. Yeah, some diacritic marks have been lost, but doesn't matter. Vadantu shastrani, Vadantu means may you keep repeating the Vedas. Keep on chanting the Vedas. Quote the Vedas, recite the Vedas. Shastrani, the Vedas. Yajantu Devan, keep worshipping Bhagavan. Keep doing fire ritual after fire rituals. OD on ghee, overdose on ghee, and keep doing fire rituals. Bhajantu devataha, sing the praise of all the celestials. All the devatas keep on worshipping all the deities. And then what will happen? Nothing will happen. You will get at the most, and this is going to be said later, even in the Viveka Chudamani, it's, that you will get liberated, you will get antahkarana shuddhi, you will get some, freedom from raga dveshas. But atma aikya bodhena, atma aikya bodhena means without the understanding, bodha, understanding of what atmaikya, atmanaha ekatvam, tasya bodhaha, atmaikya bodhaha tena vina, without that. So, without the understanding of the oneness of that self, which is in the form of the whole universe, which is the same as I, that is recognized within the body mind sense complex, which is the same as the I in Ishvara, which is the truth of the universe. And so atmaikya bodhena vina muktihi, liberation without this understanding, na siddhyati. Na siddhyati means cannot be accomplished. Brahma shatantarepi, even in the lifetime of 100 Lord Brahmajis. Why? Because one Brahmaji means, so many, Yuga Sahasram, 1,000 yugas can go by. And so Brahmaji's time is different from our time. So in Brahma Loka, by the time Brahmaji wakes up and tells his dog, Sarama, celestial dog, to go bring his slippers and his newspaper, because after all he wants to find out what is happening in his creation. And so, Sarama brings the slippers and the newspaper, and then what? And then he makes himself a cup of tea and sits down with the newspaper, and by the time he's had his breakfast, there is all the 4 yugas have gone. That is one day in the life of Brahmaji is 4 yugas here in Martya Loka, in the world of mortals. So this is something which is which is very, very interesting. So Lord Brahmaji, so imagine that was just one Brahmaji. So imagine, Shatantarepi. So imagine 100 Brahmajis reigns, and even in such a long time you can keep doing your bhajans, you can keep doing your, pujas, you can keep singing the praises, you can, keep reciting the Vedas. Mukti will not come. Why? Without jnanam. So he seems to be familiar with that verse because it's almost similar here. Nanu jnanam vina muktihi na asti yukti shatairapi. Yukti shatairapihi. Yukti here has double meaning. One meaning is despite all the logic that is deployed. So it's a direct, direct hit at all the logicians, Nyayikas. So despite all the logic that you can employ, there is no mukti without jnanam. You cannot infer moksha, you cannot infer Ishvara. Another meaning, yukti means even though you are hitched on to many, many different things. Yukti means the union, even though you are hitched on to so many different things like puja, like, parayana, all parayana means recitation. All these things you are hitched on to, then what happens? You cannot gain, you cannot gain mukti without jnanam. And then he says, tatha, in the same manner, bhaktim vina jnanam na asti upaya shatairapi. So same case may be made for knowledge, for bhakti, because there is no knowledge without bhakti. So there is no mukti without bhakti, there is no mukti without jnanam. So the bhakti is an essential element both for the bhakta and for the jnani. And so this is not really a purva paksha, even though it begins with nanu. It is just simply a forceful statement, very beautiful. So let us see now. Nanu jnanam vina muktihi na asti. Jnanam vina muktihi na asti. Na asti does not exist, is not there. What is not there? Jnanam vina muktihi. Liberation without knowledge is not there. Yukti shatairapi. Even though you may have yukti means upaya, so various pursuits. Even though you may be aligned with various pursuits, without knowledge there is no liberation. Tatha, in the same manner, bhaktim vina muktihi. So without bhakti, also there is no mukti. So in other words, jnanam and bhakti are one and the same. They go side by side, because without jnanam there is no mukti. Without bhakti there is no mukti. Jnanam has to help you to discover bhakti and discover in yourself a bhakta. Otherwise it does not fruition. And bhakti does not fruition without knowledge, and so both of them are equally important in mukti. This is what has been talked about here. Na asti upaya shatairapi. So if you say, I want to bypass Ishvara, I want to bypass bhakti, is there any other way? No, na, there is no other way. This is how it has to be done. So then he says that there is a certain, seems to be in the lives of people, a certain order. What is that order? You know, the order is given in the next verse. Bhakter jnanam tato muktihi iti sadharana kramaha. Bhaktehe jnanam. So, the common sense notion, you know, sadharana kramaha, you know, sadharana kramaha means the normal common sense trajectory is what is that? There is knowledge, bhaktehe jnanam, the knowledge of devotion is there. The knowledge is there, and from that knowledge is born the knowledge of devotion, and that devotion, one is one with that devotion, one becomes one with the object of devotion, and one has the knowledge of the object of devotion as not being anything other than the subject, which is oneself, and that knowledge is there. And then jnanam, you know, bhaktehe jnanam, so the knowledge of devotion, tato tataha, from that muktihi iti sadharana kramaha. So this is the general trajectory. You know, the general trajectory is that one discovers bhakti, and then the knowledge of devotion, and that discovery of the bhakti translates into knowledge, of course, provided one is pursuing the knowledge. This is for, you know, people who are also pursuing the knowledge. And then what? Iti sadharana kramaha, that seems to be the general trajectory. And then jnaninastu, jnaninastu ज्ञानिनस्तु वसिष्ठाद्याः भक्ता वै नारदादयः. Jnaninastu, whereas the people counted as jnanis include Vasishtadi. Vasishta is a sage, enlightened sage, who we we respect. Vasishta, Lopa, Mudra, these are sages, and Arundhati, you know, all these things. Vasishta, Arundhati, you know, and both are sages, and there is a cave in the Himalayas where Vasishta and Arundhati meditated. You know, that cave has been preserved, and so like this, even now you can go see the cave, and you can also go and sit and meditate there. Very nice. And so now jnaninastu, when we count the jnanis, we start with Vasishtha, etc., and then bhakta vai naradadayah. But then when we talk of bhaktas, we talk of naradadi, narada, etc. And so even though there is no liberation without jnanam, there is no liberation without bhakti, still when we talk of bhaktas, immediately Narada comes to mind. And then when we talk of jnanis, Vasishta, etc., come to mind. Vasishta, Adi Shankara, etc., come to mind. You know, and then why is that still that orientation is there? Why that orientation is there? He's going to talk about that in the next verse. एवमादिव्यवस्थायाः कारणं किं निरूप्यताम् अत्रोच्यते विचित्रं यत् कारणं तन्निशामय. So he's still introducing that what he talked about in the 26th verse, Ishad Lakshanam, that Ishad Vilakshanam, that slight difference between Bhakta and Jnani, he's still talking about it. But he can't help going back and saying, really, there is no difference. It's just a lot of verbiage. Jnani, Bhakta, Bhakta, Jnani, they're all one and the same. But then when you talk about, and there is no liberation without bhakti, there is no liberation without jnanam, and so therefore even though that is the situation, so the bhakta must be a jnani and the jnani must be a bhakta. Even so, when we talk of bhaktas, who comes to mind? Not Vasishtha, Narada comes to mind. And when we talk of jnani, who comes to mind? Vasishtha comes to mind. Vasishtha, etc., those sages who are teachers, who were teachers, come to mind. Why is that? It's talked about in the 30th verse. Evam adi vyavasthayaha, for this above mentioned difference, karanam kim, what is the reason? Kim karanam iti nirupyatam. I'm going to unfold. This difference will be unfolded. What difference? That there are still, despite the fact that there is no difference between bhakti and jnanam, there are still people who are seen as predominantly bhaktas and some who are seen as predominantly jnanis. There is a difference, and that difference, why that difference exists? Karanam kim, what is the difference and why it exists? Kim also means why. Why it exists? Nirupyatam. This shall be exposed. The exposition of this will take place. I will elucidate this, I will unfold this, he says. Atra uchyate vichitram. Vichitram means this magic. Yeah, vichitra here means a certain kind of a adbhuta, unique situation. This magical situation where bhakta is jnani, jnani is bhakta, yet Narada is revered as a bhakta and certain other people are revered predominantly as jnanis. Atra uchyate. In what follows, it will be talked about. What will be talked about? Vichitram yat karanam. So the cause of this will be talked about. Tat. Tat means that. Nishamaya. Nishamaya means Nishchayena Shamaya. So, quieten your mind, O student, and listen. So, please listen, please talk, the cause, understand this Vichitra cause, this very unique situation, the cause for which because of which certain jnanis are seen as jnanis, certain people are seen as jnanis, and certain people are seen as bhaktas. Please listen to this and listen to this, and then what Nishamaya means, please and then the difference between the two and why those differences exist and what is the cause of that will be talked about, and this is a very unique thing. So, and I'm going to talk about this again. Once again he introduces the topic, even though he had introduced it earlier, and then he's going to talk about it in little more detail. Okay, and he gives a very interesting metaphor, and we will just read it, and then next time we will look at the metaphor properly. Kathayami sadrishtantam yenarthasphutatam vrajet syatapasya cha papasya ganga snanena hikshayah. Kathayami sadrishtantam yenarthasphutatam vrajet syatapasya cha papasya ganga snanena hikshayah. So he says, Kathayami, I tell. What do I tell? sadrishtantam kathayami. Sadrishtantam drishtantena saha vartate iti sadrishtantam, along with an example. Sadrishtantam, along with an example, I will tell. Kathayami kathaishyami, I will tell. What will I tell? I will tell along with an example. Yenartham, whose yenarthaha, whose meaning and whose distinction sputatam vrajet, whose distinction will gain clarity. Which distinction between why somebody is called bhakta, why somebody is called jnani, even though essentially there is no difference. I will tell along with an example. And he uses a very interesting example of Ganga Snanam. Ganga Snanam means going and dipping in the Ganga. Ganga is the holiest, thing in India. She is just a marvelous river, Mother Ganga, and she's a marvelous river because what happens is that she has a great, what is that, ability to, um, the belief is the waters, really don't catch bacteria. Uh, and they they remain clear, the waters remain clear and free of bacteria. Of course, she has been burdened with all these non-ecological ways of living, and so there is a big drive in India now, clean Ganga. Har Har Gange campaign is going on to clean the Ganga because she cannot take this overload of this. And so because of that unique nature of the water, she's seen as a purifying agent both within and without. That water you can keep forever, nothing will happen because there's some, they have done some research, but they're not able to find what agent is there that just, repels bacteria. So the belief is that it's a holy water, and this Ganga water, what happens? You dip in this Ganga water, and then outside, of course, you get clean. Inside also, Papa Kshaya takes place. So Kshaya means the reduction of Papa takes place. So this is the belief of a devout Hindu, that dipping in the Ganga, all the papas go away. All the papas means all the omissions and commissions that are standing in my account from God knows how many lifetimes, and the omissions and the commissions that I have done in this lifetime alone, all of them go away. Tapakshaya and papakshaya take place simultaneously. And then papakshaya takes place. Now let us say that there is a non-Hindu or somebody who doesn't believe in this or who doesn't have this understanding or this belief at all. Somebody who's come from another country, they don't know what the Ganga stands for. They have perhaps come for river rafting in the Himalayas in the Ganga, or they have come for scenic views, or they have come for as a tourist. As a tourist coming from one of the northern countries, they are very hot. So what do they want? They don't want papakshaya, they want only tapakshaya. Tapakshaya means what? They want to reduce the heat, immerse in the cool waters and say, oh my God, it was so hot, so hot, so hot. Now I'm nice and cool. So there are two fellows. One is a devout Hindu and one has lot of bhakti. And then what? One says, I want papakshaya. All my papas, they will go away. I have this belief. I'm going to dip into the Ganga. And it's a hot day. And then and similarly, the foreigner who has come to India, who doesn't know anything about the culture, the belief, the mythology, or Ganga, even what this stands for, is just suffering from intense dehydration and heat, and just wants to dip in the Ganga to, get over the wrath of the sun shining, mercilessly above. So both of them take a dip, and so what happens, and that is very interesting because, Narahari says, for the one who wanted papakshaya, so the one who wanted to get rid of the papas, the devout Hindu taking a dip in the Ganga, what happens? He's also cooled off, correct? Yeah. they are also cooled off. It's not that only the papakshaya takes place. Tapakshaya means the cooling off also happens. It's not just that the papas are reduced, the Hindu also feels cool, and the heat is gone. Correct? Yeah. And then what about the one wanting only tapakshaya and only wanted to cool off? For that person, also papakshaya has taken place, whether they believe it or not, whether they know about it or not. For the foreigner who has come to India and who just wants to cool off and has taken a dip in the Ganga even without any shraddha, what has happened? All the antahkarana shuddhi has taken place. So this is how he's going to elucidate the differences between bhakta and jnani. Because if you want only jnanam, bhakti takes place. If you want only bhakti, jnanam takes place. So very unique metaphor of dipping into the Ganga, and we will see it next time. Let me open my calendar. I will tell you when that next time will be. So we will shouldn't have a class on April Fool's Day. Um, we will have a class on April 2nd. Yeah, Sunday, April 2nd will be the next class on Tapakshaya, Papakshaya, continuing with the Bhakti and Jnanam debate. And then what else? I'm interested also in having, I thought it would be nice to do what is it called? A retreat for the Labor Day weekend, not Labor Day, what is coming? Memorial Day weekend in the end of May. So if you're interested in it, let me know, and we will cook something up. Huh? Yeah, we will cook something up. You send me an email or post something right here if you are interested. And so the Labor Day weekend, I'll tell you the dates so that will be easier for you to plan. So that will be at the end of May. I believe it's the 26th to the 29th. So if we have a retreat, it would start on the 26th and then end on the 29th. So there would be about 2-3 classes a day, and maybe we can take, we can take what is this name? Some Upanishad mantra or a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Even that one is very nice. Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. Lot to talk about. Yeah. So we will. Yeah. So 2 people are interested. 3, if you count Gordon also. Gordon, Harinder, and Janani. 3 people are interested. So like this. Yeah. Okay. Good. So keep letting me know, and then we will plan something. And if you have something specific that you want to study, of course we can't study a whole Upanishad, it will have to be one mantra or something like that. And yeah, Aruna wants a 1-month course. Yeah, that will also happen. Maybe not in May, but it will happen. Okay, yeah, sometime we will do that. So yeah, so we'll either take a Bhagavad Gita sentence or a sentence from the Upanishad, and then we will do that. Okay. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Yeah, I got Leela ji, I got your message. Thank you for your phone message. I have received it. Yeah, we can talk. Or you can send me an email. That'll be better. Please send me an email and I will respond to it right away. Okay? All the best. Om. Yeah, just, some flu. Every passing bug comes, what to do. Yeah, it'll go. It's on its way out. Yeah, I was happy that the class was not yesterday. I don't think you would have enjoyed it had I, was if it was yesterday. Yeah, cooling dip in in the Ganga of the Shastra. Okay, Craig, take care. Vasanti is back yet? No, not yet. Okay. Next week, maybe. 2 weeks. Okay, okay.